Hello everyone, KeyofW here with more blueprints. We're on day 2. So in our first day, we basically just learned how this game works, how the mansion works. We got pretty far, but we're taken back to the beginning with none of our progress saved. The mansion's back to nothing. So why on earth did we do all that? Well, we learned a lot of stuff. We made some plans. We also gained a star from the observatory, so it's not all in vain. And I guess our goal today is to see how far we can get, see if we can make any more sort of permanent progress to make it easier on subsequent days. There's also something I just completely ignored on day 1. Outside. We start at the entrance hall, but there's nothing that says we can't go outside. This does take a step, but we can explore around here and see what there is to do. So there's this door, but it's locked, so we can't go through, even though in real life we could just hop that. The game will not let us hop insurmountable waist-high walls. We got a little fountain there. There's a path down here. What's nice about the grounds is like a lot of this does not take up extra steps. Basically, we only lose a step if we cross like a sort of room boundary, which we haven't seen one in a while, so this is all one step. It's a nice view, but we don't really see what use it is for us yet. There's a tunnel down here. It seems blocked, but we can't really see anything in there. And if there's anything we can do, I didn't see it, so we're going to ignore that. And go back up the stairs. So I'm just sort of remembering what we're looking at there. We're looking at those balconies. We're looking at that tunnel. We also have this driveway through here we can go in. That is obviously something we can do. Looks like there's power lines going to here as well. So let's keep that in mind. We can't open that door right now. Here's a door. I don't know if we'll ever open this one. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? But no, we're not opening that. So this is actually where we live right now. Right? Due to the rules set forth in your great uncle's will, you're not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. So this is where we spend the night. And every morning we walk up the drive back to the estate. Alright, we got something up here. Another fence we could easily hop over, but we're way too polite. We have to unlock it with this. And we don't know the code, so I'm not even going to bother trying to guess. I mean, we could do 9803, was it? 9803. Unless it was 9083. It wasn't either of those. So we can't get in there. If only we were able to sort of like just step on this stump and then over the edge. But alas, we do not have any acrobatic skill. At least the game's pretty consistent about that. Just, if you see something in the way, you can't cross it. That's another door that probably could open later. So we can't really do anything out here yet, but we've seen at least 3 doorways or passageways that certainly can be opened in the future. So let's keep our minds open for ways to affect our sort of chances out here. Not sure where that sentence was going when I started it. So that was a very fun little trip. It did waste 6 steps, but we got to see things outdoors that may or may not be useful for us. And it's okay if today we don't get all the way. Like, we didn't get here the first day. We're probably not going to get here today either. We might. We might get lucky. We might not. But if we approach this game with an all or nothing thing of every day has to get all the way here, we're going to have a bad time. So what I want to do is just make the best possible mansion, explore, see the most possible things. So all of these are okay. This is all right. The trouble here is it makes the corner section there harder to reach. Do I care? I don't know. These are fine. They go to that corner, but then it forces the corner to be a piece that has an L joint and not a dead end. Otherwise, this is a dead end. Whereas this potentially opens up more possibilities. Let's do the bedroom. It also could have an item in it, but it does not, so we're not lucky here. Let's look for a bend to the right, because to the left is going to block the entrance hall, so let's not do that. This is a very nice room, but I don't need anything moving to the left here, so I'm going to use the nook, because the den can show up later, whereas this nook has a good use here. It's okay if this ends up going to a dead end. I have 2 other spaces, but I don't want to waste the den in a spot where it has a redundant door. So we're going to take the nook. Once again, we have a key. Other than that, that is everything we have in here. This is actually a really good spot for the chapel, because it lets us draft a free dead end down here. The parlor gets us gems, but I'm going to take the chapel here, actually. We don't have any money, so we can't lose any. We're allowed to enter without any money. We just don't lose it. Nothing happens. So we're going to do that. Okay, which dead end is best? This is good for items. The money we grab from here is just going to be lost, but the key and the gem are very valuable. The utility closet we saw could have a use if we find particular rooms. I actually want to take the utility closet here because I'm going to lose the coin. 1 gem is not... I want more than 1 gem. I want the parlor to give me 2 gems. So I'm actually going to take the utility closet. This might come back to bite me if I need gems really soon. But I'm going to look ahead into the future and imagine finding one of these 3 rooms. So the garage is off. Let's turn that on. I can't imagine why we want that off. I'm also going to leave these 2 on. I don't know why they need to be off yet. And I'm going to turn the keycard entry system off because we no longer have the keycard from yesterday. We lose all our items when we start again. So the keycard is gone. Without the keycard, we can't use it to open the doors. So now... do I want to use the one that's always unlocked or just the spare room? Either one's fine. Let me use this and take a risk that it's not locked, because then later on, when it's more important I don't get a locked door, I can grab the corridor. There, that worked out for me. Ah, there it is. There's my parlor. This is a pretty good place for it. Yeah, it comes in here, but there's lots of space in here to make rooms. So we're going to do another parlor puzzle. Hopefully I don't struggle on it like I did last time, inexplicably, even though it was supposedly an easy puzzle. Alright, the blue box is true. This box is empty. You are in the parlor. Okay, well, that is true. You are in the parlor is true. The blue box is true. Therefore, this box must be false because there has to be at least one box which has all false statements. Right? Let's check it again. There will always be at least one box which displays only false statements. This is a peculiar way of wording it as well. It's not saying it displays a false statement, or it's not saying that the statement on it is false. It only displays false statements. This one must be false. Because this is true, therefore this is true. This is false. This box is not empty. The only thing that can be in a box is gems, therefore prize. Let's continue. Courtyard is nice for rooms. This is better because it moves north. This does not. So I'm going to take the hallway. And then I think I'm going to craft a dead end down here because I have plenty of space with these 2 exits to make lots of rooms over here. So I can use up a dead end in this spot. So yeah, these would both be wastes. The pantry, not so much. I could put a room here, but I want to do this instead. Give me some steps, and let's see if there's an item in here. Doesn't look like it. There was the key card here last time, so... here was the note telling us about the billiards room puzzle. Cool. Do I want to continue? I also want to fill these out at some point. I feel like that's the thing to do. I got all those steps, so I'm doing well on steps. I haven't collected any money, so I can do a lot of back and forth just fine. Bedroom here gives me some of my steps back. Let's head to the left. and see what we get. Ah, now, see, I'm glad I didn't use the den, because I want the den here. This is a dead end, that's a dead end. This is a great room to put right next to the entrance hall. I also saw this. That's a locked trunk. I can use a key to unlock it. I don't think I want to use up my only key over here, but that's a trunk. We'll see plenty of those as we continue. This needs to be a corner piece. And we got it. We got the pantry. I could also put the storeroom here and then just move forward through the den, which probably is the move to do, because that way I can use up this dead end somewhere that is useful. Of course, if we have to go back through the chapel, we're going to lose that coin. Until we have a use for coins, though. More pictures. Until we have a use for those coins, I'm not sure what we need to worry about it for. Boudoir is the only thing that's not a dead end, so let's take it. It does mean that our entrance hall is pretty limited. It has to be a straightaway, but that is okay. This room also, it has a safe in it, but we don't know the safe code. I mean, we saw that room actually said the safe code, so this could be at 9803. No, that's not it. 9083. I didn't memorize it, and it's in a thing. I just don't want to look it up. I just don't feel like it. I have a picture of it somewhere. Okay, it's not that. Me sort of giving away that I know it's not the answer, but just not caring about it. All right, needs to turn right. Okay, this is not the greatest place to place the West Wing Hall. However, okay, I can take a risk here. I can grab a terrace. It's going to say that green rooms do not cost gems to draft. So if I see a green room that would normally cost a gem, it'll be free. That's nice. I have plenty of gems, but if the green rooms are free, I can spend the gems elsewhere. But it would force me to find a way forward in here, which is okay. This leaves a space open, but it does use up a room, makes a redundant door. Not redundant, just now it makes it a dead end here. So it takes a room that would be useful, making two separate exits, and it blocks it down to one. I'm going to go for the risky strat here, because I still have a way forward in the hallway on the east side of the mansion. There's also something in here. There's an orange, which gives us 5 steps back. I like that a lot. So it's going to sort of undo all of this. Alright, so let's see if we get what we need here. If we don't, we're kind of screwed, but we'll see. Corridor, there it is. That's why I didn't use the corridor earlier. Now it's here. So we do need this to move left. No, we can go straight, but I want it to go left. Both of these are going to end in dead ends. Or they're going to have a dead end on the right that I don't like, but I'm going to have to use it up. Now, which would I rather do? I think I'm going to take the courtyard because it's the green room, which means that I think the gem cost is done, so I don't have to spend a gem here. I don't know why I would want to spend a gem here. Oh, here's an item. Shovel. Useful for digging. I really like the shovel. It's such a basic item. Now you can go to all these dig spots here, this dirt, and see if you find anything. I might find nothing. Find a rock. This is going great. That's it. I got nothing. Okay. Let's head this way. Drawing room. This looks like it's heading the wrong... Yeah, I get a straightaway, but I get a dead end here. This also goes straight out, but it's dead end there. And I have this problem where I can't see floor plans. Commissary seems like the route to take, because it lets me go up, which gives me more freedom up here. So I'm going to take the commissary. And I'm not taking it because of the items for sale, even though you can buy items here, as it says. I have no money. It says annual Maids Day sale, 2 days only, all items up to 50% off, all staff welcome, day 20 and 21. Yeah. These are all wonderful items, but let me keep those in mind for just a second. With this, without that. But these look like the drawings we see a lot of throughout the mansion. Let's just keep this in mind. The commissary will be closed from day 12 to day 16. Sorry for any inconvenience. Well, that's annoying. Staff notice. Effective the first week of December, payroll for all live-out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically. As your attendance will no longer be registered at morning roll call, it is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out at one of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. 2 of these terminals can be found at security, where the punch clock used to be, and in the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to our house manager, Mrs. Babbage. Terminal password. We can't quite read that. This is one case where I know the password ahead of time. It's the same every game, but I'm going to pretend I don't, and I'm going to see if I can find the way to read this. It's not too difficult. You just have to get a little bit of run luck to get the stuff you need in the day. Oh, there's the security they were talking about. It's the only thing that doesn't dead end me, so we're going to take it. Alright, we got a little cutscene here. Let's just sit back and watch. Well, this is a huge mansion then. There's a lot of rooms we haven't seen before. We don't know what that is. That's the nook. That's the wine cellar. Spare room. Storeroom. It's one of the hallways. That's where we are now. Do I know what any of these other ones are? We haven't been to them, but... And here's a computer. Mount Holly Security, view estate inventory. So here's a list of items currently in the house that have yet to be... Oh, so I missed a key. There's a key somewhere I could have picked up. This will not list all the items that could be generated today, just if a room generates and there's an item in it and I don't pick it up, the game's going to tell me that I've missed something. The trunk is in the den. I already know that one. Keycard system. Security doors are doors with the estate that can only be unlocked with the electronic keycard, which I don't have today, and I turned it offline. So here's something I'm going to do that's kind of tricky. So I can set the security level and change the offline mode. So right now, offline mode locked means that when I turned in the breaker box room, I turned it off, it means that all the security doors are locked forever. But if I change it to unlocked, yep, this is what we want to do. So this mode determines the default setting of security doors if power is lost. As a general safety rule, offline mode should be set to unlocked, which I'm going to do. Now if I find a security door, I can go through it without the keycard. And I'm going to change the security level. At a low setting, there's going to be 1 to 2 security doors in the estate. At a high setting, 5 to 6. I actually want a lot of these doors, because now, if I see them, I don't need any sort of key. They're a free door I can go into. Is that right? Yeah, high, unlocked, we're good. Return to security menu. Keycard system. We can't log into network. We don't have the password. So we're going to have to wait till we know the password. But that's okay. We're not missing too much yet for that. Blue memos equal true. Red memos lie. Ah, so the memo about the safe code is a lie. It was a red memo. Oh, unless... If you look, can you see that? It says the word unless here. Unless... Like it's barely there. Like I can tell that's the word unless, because that's half of an L. Like that's a UN. That's the only word that could be. Unless wet. Okay, that's as far as I got. Blue memo's true, red memo's lie. Anything else? This is the thing we saw earlier. Until further notice, the antechamber has been unlocked and access levers are no longer required to grant entry. That's a lie. It's a red memo, so the antechamber must be locked. Keycard access security doors are more likely to appear in higher ranks of the estate. Likewise, as a redundant security measure, normal doors in the estate will also be more likely to be locked as you progress north. So we wanted the security to be at high level because it will replace normal doors which might be locked with security doors which now are unlocked. Okay, so let's head left, see what we get. Do I want to use a key there? I have a second key, so I'm not too worried about keys yet. Oh. This might be where I put a dead end. Laundry room, launder currency. It costs a gem. I don't want to do this, I don't think. I think I'm just going to take the items because I could get another key. And I did get another key. Hold on. I just zipped past that like an idiot. Silver key. Unlocking a door with a silver key will lead to a room with many doors. That's good. Because now what I can do is I can use it on this door, and it's going to force me to get a room with multiple exits, which means, yes, this is what I want. I want something that takes me both up and down. So I don't have to worry about opening the door and it forcing me down. It's going to force me the right direction. Let's make a dead end here, though. Dark room. This game really wants me to make a dark room. But since I don't have to worry about this at all, let's make it, since I don't want it to appear anywhere else. Also, the breaker box, I turned the dark room on. So, let's see. Oh, and it's off. So, I'd have to go back to the breaker room, to the, where is it? The utility closet if I want to go into the dark room again. Let's just keep going. Pantry, maid's chamber, nursery. I think I'd rather take the pantry here. I don't want this. Items are less likely to appear. I want items. And I don't want a dead end. So let's take the pantry here. It's going to give us an apple, which is nice. Dining room it's kind of facing the wrong way. This might be where I want the secret passage, because it's going to lead to a room of a color of my choice. And remember from the terrace that green rooms no longer cost gems to draft. So I'm going to take the secret passage. So how does this work? Okay, well this is obvious. We're going to pull a book. This yellow book will give us yellow rooms, red rooms, purple, green, and orange. This is probably a good time to mention what the colors are for. It's not too hard to figure out some of them. The green rooms are just green rooms. They're just called that. They tend to be rooms that are sort of outdoorsy. So the courtyard has a hole in the roof. This one had a sort of balcony you could look outside on. The purple ones, guest bedroom, bedroom, boudoir, they tend to be bedrooms. So those are bedrooms. The red rooms suck. So this one has a negative. This one has a negative. So we don't probably want a red room. The yellow ones, commissary, items for sale. Yellow might just be shops. And then orange, well, this book says the halls of Holly. The orange ones seem to be hallways. So I'm going to take the green one because I know that it won't cost gems. So I can get another courtyard. It's not facing the way I want. I can get a cloister, which has a dead end I don't really like. It's the one facing down. Or the aquarium. This is interesting. Aquarium is every color. So this is a green room, but it's also a yellow and an orange and a red and a purple and a blue. So I'm going to take the aquarium. That seems pretty rad. Now I have more exits. Let's continue this way. It's locked. Let's not continue that way. Dead end. This. Dead end. I don't want this, so it's a matter of bunk room or nursery. Well, if I have the nursery, then making the bunk room is great. But if I do bunk room first, then the nursery is not very valuable. It does cost a gem. There is that. I'm going to take the nursery, see what happens. Okay, well... there's a gem in here. That is really nice. We also have this book. I'm going to just read through it quick. It's pretty easy to read. It's called The Red Prince by Marion Marigold. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true color, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. And do you know which book the prince always had, the one that made him happy whenever he was sad? A story he had read in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we have said. It was the story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince from his toes to his head. And as you, my reader, may already assume, this book is quite near you, in fact, in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a red prince and his book, the red book we just read. Alright then, nice story. I wonder what it means. Okay, we did just block off this hallway. I did not think about that. So that means this is the only way forward, so we're going to take it. We have to use our key. And this is our best option here. Gymnasium, we lose 2 steps every time we enter. Walk-in closet, it just ends our run, so we're going to take the dining room. If we can get to rank 8, then a meal will be served here, which will be great. We do want that. Oh, this is probably the best one. This is dead end, this is dead end, this is not a dead end. Rumpus room, cost a gem, but we get 8 coins. So if we ever want to buy something, we now have a lot of cash. Where's the coins? Oh, there. A lot of cool stuff here. Alzara. Let's insert a coin. Oh man, here it comes.
As it was foretold, I am awakened at the sound of a dropping coin. You find yourself face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I see a boy standing on a shore of white sand. He is looking for something he was told he would not find. I see a black cat tied to a red flag. I hear the wind blowing, but the flag does not stir. I see a door marked by a rogue moon. A door that is always locked, yet has no key. It is the door you have been searching for, yet will not find. A lost room beyond the dark waters. What you have heard here has been foreseen by the great Alzara. Until the dawn of the following day, I will have nothing more to say.
Okay. I love me some Alzara. So those predictions are going to be the same, play in the same order. So it doesn't matter what day you come here. That is always the first prediction. And we're not 100% sure what he's talking about. The boy on the white sand's probably us, looking for something. It says looking for something we won't find. Well, if he's talking about room 46, that's a lie. We can find room 46. But maybe he's talking about something else. I don't know what he's talking about with the black cat and the red flag. So we're just going to continue. We got to use a key, I guess. There's not much else we can do. Oh, here's the garage. Remember back in the utility closet, we turned on the garage. Let's see what this does. Well, here's a car. We got a bunch of keys. That's really nice. Christoph, this is the third time this month you and the car have been gone when your services were required. I don't care how long you have been driving for his lordship. Your absences must be accounted for. Mrs. Babbage. Okay. Christoph is being a naughty, naughty boy. You know what? Let's see this. Ah, yep, garage door opener, of course. So, we never got the pleasure of seeing a garage that wasn't powered. We got quite lucky in that we saw it on day 2, and with the power. If it's not powered, we just can't open the door. But now we can just leave the house. And now we're in an area we haven't seen before outside. This door won't let us through, I know that. I don't know if it ever will. I have not, in any of my playthroughs, gotten that direction, so I doubt it's a thing. But we can move this way, which is going to take us... So we're out here. We're going to be walking this direction. And we got this. Ah, here's the gate we saw at the beginning of the day. And we can just pull that out. And now the door's open. The west gate has been permanently unlocked. Permanent changes do not reset each day. So, that means every day that we start, this door will be open. So you think, oh, we can go in the garage. Well, no, the garage will reset. So we can't go up that way. But, there's something over here. Every single day we get access to whatever this is. So this, another set of rooms. Trading post, items for trade. Shelter protects you from the negative effects of the next 3 red rooms drafted. Root cellar, rooms in your house are more likely to contain dig spots. Well, I can't look at my items or my drafting. I think we have the shovel, so this is nice. We could also trade items, I wonder. You know what? I'm going to go with the root cellar, because we have a shovel. So it's going to add more dig spots. And this room also has dig spots in it. I wonder if that's any good. Maybe I made the wrong choice. Okay, hold on, there's a coin there. Nothing of interest was buried here. A few old coins. Wow, this run's actually doing well. I didn't think day 2 would do well. Oh, key. Yeah, we could get pretty far with this. Is that all? Search continues. Author and illustrators, fanciful stories. Name Marion Marigold was last seen by A. Friday getting into a carriage after no sign has been found. Marion Marigold. She wrote The Red Prince, which we just read. Huh. Other than that, I don't think we can do anything here. Here's Mount Holly family tree. So Herbert St. Clair, that's the guy who died and gifted us. He's our great uncle, I think. But we're not on here, so it's not 100% sure where we would fit into this. There's Mary Epson, Clara Epson, Simon Sinclair. We're named Simon, so we seem to be named after Simon and his family. So the question is, would Mary Epson be our mother, naming us Simon so that name us after her own father? Or would we be related to Herbert through someone else, and they just named us Simon after our great uncle for no reason? My guess is that we are the child of Mary Epson. But our last name is Jones, which means that Mary Epson would have married someone with the last name Jones. Okay. This is actually a really useful day to get the garage and the west gate open just now. Let's not go back this way, because if we do, we have to walk through all these rooms. I want to go back to security? No, where do I want to go back to? We don't need to do... There was something now that we open that up that would be really, really useful. I don't remember what it is. I want to go back to a room. It might have been security? Dark room? Commissary! We have money. That's the one. Commissary. But if we get to the utility closet, we could also turn the dark room back on. So actually the fastest route will be through the entrance hall. So let's go to the entrance hall, turn on the utility closet, and do stuff. So that means we're probably not getting to the antechamber today. Like, we did a lot. We're using a lot of steps for this other stuff, but that's worth it, because as you see, we either make permanent changes or we make discoveries which will affect us. I am going to be spending money, but that's okay. That's okay. I'll spend a little bit of money. We still have 14, which is quite a lot. So yeah, darkroom turned off. No matter what you do with the darkroom, when you enter the darkroom for the first time, it turns off. So, gymnasium. That's the one that if you walk into a gymnasium, it says you lose steps. I didn't like that. Let's turn it off. What if that will make it not lose the steps? I say what if like I haven't played the game before. We will see what it does. If I ever turn off the gymnasium and we draft it, you will see if it is in fact useful. So commissary is a faster walk this way rather than all the way around the house. I've already dug here. That's right, root cellar only affects newly drafted rooms. So let's buy stuff here. I'm going to buy the magnifying glass because I can inspect documents of the estate. And I don't know with the other ones yet. So let's inspect this now. And let's look at the password we couldn't read before. Now it's readable. It very clearly says Swan Song. That is the password to get into the network on the terminals. So let's take a look at what that does. Wow, we're getting a lot done this day. I feel like I'm being very lucky. So let's log into the network. Password accepted. Connecting to network. If you were around in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, you know what that sound is. Staff services. So we punch in and out. Service been temporarily disabled as of November 4th. So no. Staff announcements, Saturday, November 7th. I don't think anyone else has access to this network this month except you, Simon. So if you're reading this, just know we're all rooting for you. So this must mean that today is at least the 8th because it's day 2. I doubt this was written today. So it was either written yesterday or it was written in advance of the first day because apparently the staff really wants me to succeed. Request schedule change, also disabled. Special orders. So when I do this, that means the commissary is going to stock something the next time, in the next couple days. So the shovel is very useful. We know the magnifying glass is useful. We don't know what these other ones do. Running shoes, we know what it does. I think we saw that yesterday, right? Yeah. Let's get the shovel again. No, let's see if the magnifying glass can be there again. That's useful. Is there anything else in staff services? No. Remote terminal access. We can review, but we don't have any other terminals we've activated. You have to activate each one individually, so apparently there's an office, laboratory, and shelter, all of which have terminals. And once you've done that, you can do stuff from one to the other. Electronic mail. The permissions of this terminal do not allow for access. The office is the only place we can look at mail, so we want to find the office. Data transfers. Doesn't do anything. Glossary of terms just tells you what stuff is in the game, so we're going to just say you can use your brain there. Okay, that was pretty useful, but it will be even more useful in the office. Let's go to the dark room now and see what we did by turning on the light. We get to see some pictures, so a crow and a boat. Here is the step. So this magnifying glass will show up on every document we pick up, even if there's nothing to look at. So this is the fence to the orchard that we've seen. We saw this today. Let's take a look. Okay, so that's got carved on it 1128. There's the lock. You know what? It might be a long shot, but this might actually be it. Let's try that out. We might have enough steps today. Just a picture of good old Sinclair, looking all serious. Faded image of maids. Here's some more smudged writing. Let's take a look. Green memos found in Hartley's room are always false. See, the trick is, though, this memo is red because of the picture color, so I don't know if that means that's a lie. But either way, let's just hold on to that information. Camera. That's the maids again. Here's this 1128, yeah. That is, we saw her in the family tree. That is not Mary Espen, that's Clara Epson. Print notes. HS has requested yet another print of her ladyship, I assume for one of her rooms in the West Wing, as well as an enlarged print of the enclosed photograph. He said the last development was too dark, so keep an eye on that. And we find an item. So a thing about the darkroom is, there is an item in here only if you turn the lights back on from the utility closet. Just something you might like to know. Broken lever. We can't use that. I don't know what it's for. Here's somebody in a room. Doesn't look like there's anything to zoom in on. You'll usually know because it'll look like there's some kind of writing you can't really read. More maids. One of them could be Mrs. Babbage, as far as I know. Okay, so we want to also head outside. Oh, you know what else? Let's look at the note that's in here. Because we have the magnifying glass, we probably could see whatever that is. Read memos lies unless written by hand. So notes written by hand on red are true. Any other things here that's useful? Let's take this. Let's take the sledgehammer, because I can shatter padlocks and locked trunks with these. And then let's head back to the den. Yeah, I have enough steps. I will barely have enough steps to do what I want, to make this the most useful day 2 I have ever had. I've played the game a couple times now, and I never ever got this lucky on day 2. Here's an item that is no longer useful to me. I don't have enough steps. Lockpick kit will occasionally be able to unlock some normal doors. That would be very useful if I had enough steps left to explore, but we won't get very far anyway. We'll have enough steps for this, right? We saw the orchard. It's only a few steps away. I hope so. If not, I will feel very bad. But that is okay, because knowing the password is fine. We could just get this on the next day. But yeah, we saw that that was the thing to the orchard, and 1128, we might as well try that password. Where is it? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, we have enough steps. This is a good day. So we want 1128. There we go. Wow, this is 2 permanent upgrades in one day. So the apple orchard's been permanently unlocked. Starting tomorrow, we will start each new day with an extra 20 steps. So we will start every day with 70 steps. That is so good. We got a fountain over here. Nothing we can do there. Got some machines here that I don't know if they're usable. There's this. We could turn this. Sounds like, yeah, it sounds like we just turned on the gas. So that turns on a flame there. And FYI, that flame is permanent. I'm not going to go check. I'm just going to tell you what that one is. That's okay. That looks like a gas pipe, but we can't really do anything with it. And we got a building here. Gardener's Logbook from 1992. When I first came on the estate in the capacity of the new groundskeeper, I was a little dismayed to find that my predecessor had kept no notes, no logbook, and no record of any kind regarding the various gardens and green rooms of the house under his care. As a result of this improvidence, in the first few months of my post, I suffered a number of embarrassing professional blunders that I believe could have been avoided with even a few scraps of imparting wisdom from the previous groundsman. To that end, I will make an effort to make some record of my dealings on the estate, inasmuch as it pertains to horticulture and general tomfoolery. Robert Nogula, groundskeeper. Among my many commissioned duties, I have been tasked with the conservation and oversight of Mount Holly's alluring grounds. My domain stretches from gate to gate and encompasses the apple orchard, which is here, entrance drive and east yard, which is what I unlocked from the garage. Fortunately for my workload, the maintenance of the west grounds has not been a priority since Lady Epson's death and the ensuing closure of the west wing. Nevertheless, I take some pride in my work, so I still endeavor to brush the west path weekly, even if none but myself take notice. Interesting. West wing, Lady Epson's death means, there might be something related to this on the west side of the house. In addition to maintaining the grounds, there are 8 green rooms within the house that require some level of upkeep and light groundskeeping. Green rooms. The majority of these I discovered are only draftable on the perimeter of the house along the east and west wings. Terrace, patio, veranda, morning room, greenhouse, and secret garden all fall within this category. So we did the terrace, we saw... Yeah, so they can only be made on the sides. Okay. One of the first tasks I undertook as groundskeeper was to conduct a survey of the various plots of soil underneath each slot on both the east and west wings of the house, and while I would have preferred to have a full survey of all 45 plots of the house, it was clear that the inconvenience such an undertaking would produce was in no way worth the extra data, especially considering the rooms that would benefit from the survey only ever appear in the wings. To quantify soil quality, I measure the soil's capacity to get that out of the way, support crop growth and maximize the promise of high yields. The survey ended up taking 2 weeks due to some difficulty reaching the higher ranks, but the project was well worth the effort. I suspected the room position has a direct relationship to the amount of fruit spread from gardens and the amount of flowers that can bloom in a greenhouse. Oh! Barren ground, poor soil, good soil, rich soil. This is just something to bear in mind. It will not, I don't think, affect anything so important. Like, it's not like this is going to be the difference between getting to the antechamber or not. But it looks like if we want, fruit spread from the gardens, amount of flowers that bloom, we would want to pick these rooms here rather than these rooms. Smudge pots. A few years ago, the Baron made the long overdue decision to switch from gas lighting to electrical power. The installation of the new system was a substantial undertaking, as almost every room in the house had to be equipped with new fixtures and wiring. Thankfully, these renovations did not extend beyond the mansion's interior, and all the lamps and equipment used outside of the house are still connected and powered by gas line, including but not limited to the orchard's smudge pots. That's what's behind me that I didn't know what to do with. The smudge pots found among the apple trees here in the orchard are a critical necessity thanks to the cold temperatures and high altitude of the estate. These gas-burning stack heaters prevent frost and should be kept on during the winter months to ensure a daily yield of apples. When the smudge pots are not in use, the orchard's gas line should be turned off to conserve resources for the estate's other gas-powered machinery. Okay. After a few months of idleness, I finally have a new cause to champion, and I've submitted a request for a change of scenery. Specifically, I would like to replace the statue of Orinda, currently in the cloister, with the much more appropriate angel Rinna. After all, as beautiful as the statue is, shouldn't the greenery of Mount Holly be governed by the paragon of gardening? Though amused, I do not think Anne took the request too seriously, though she did humor me and listen to me rave and pontificate on the subject for the better part of our lunch yesterday, and she wonders why I avoid tending the cloister. Truth be told, I have forgotten how to access the inner garth, and am too scared of chastisement to probe for the particulars for a third time. Let's put a pin in all this, because we haven't been to the cloister yet. My best rendition, pretty good considering I have only ever seen Rinna's depiction in the chapel. Oh, so let's look in the chapel again for this. Rinna has this hat, has angel wings, has a hoe, and he wants to replace the statue of Orinda, which I don't know what that one is, with this statue. And that's all that's in the book. Well, that was a really, really productive day as far as this game is concerned, and we're going to run out of steps real quick. So let me show you what happens. Once I walk just a little bit further, we're going to reach 0. We die instantly. The game, you have to start the whole game over again from day 1. You've used all your steps, you must call it a day, and that's it. Alright then. Wow, I feel really great. I feel like I'm good at the game suddenly. For getting that far in day 2, because we got 2 permanent upgrades. That is not usual. I don't think. Maybe there's people out there who do that all the time. But I feel like you have to get pretty lucky. You have to get just what you need for those 2 things. Of course, if you know the password to the orchard, it's always the same. You can actually just do it. But if you pretend like I am that you don't know the password to the orchard, then it requires you to get the dark room, the utility closet, and the garage, and have enough steps to get to all of those places. And a magnifying glass, you need that too. Total rooms, new rooms 11, great, perfect. Whew, I'm going to end it there. That was a nice long day. I'll see you next time when I feel like recording this wonderful game, and we'll get to day 3 and see if we can't get something else cool. Alright, that's all. Bye.